Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Matthew Radford. I'm joined today by Hannah Aralou, Matt Rose, Rob Tour, and Eric Walker behind the scenes. The purpose of this webinar is to provide an overview of the registration, pre-departure, and orientation process for our newest international students joining Sarnia and Ottawa for the winter 2025 intake. The information we share today is applicable for both study locations, Sarnia and Ottawa. I'd like to thank, first of all, everyone here for choosing Lambton College for their post-secondary studies in Canada, and it truly is my pleasure to welcome you to the Lambton College family. Registration for the winter 2025 intake will open on Monday, November 11th. Today, we are going to walk you through the steps of that registration process. We'll also highlight our key support services, such as housing, and also walk you through our orientation week. The purpose of our registration, pre-departure, and comprehensive orientation program is to ensure that all students are in the best position to be successful here in Canada and at Lambton College. As we do before every important event at Lambton College, we will begin with a land acknowledgement. So for that, I will pass the microphone to Hannah.
Thank you so much, Matt. I would like to acknowledge that Lambton College in Sarnia is located on the beautiful homeland that is a traditional territory of the Ojibwe, Potawatomi, and Odawa First Nations. These three individual nations make up the traditional Three Fires Confederacy. We acknowledge the grace and the welcome they have offered to all students and staff at Lambton College. We have lots of useful information to provide you today. Let's get started, shall we? Over to you, Matt.
All right, so just to start everyone off, there have been some changes, policy changes here in Canada. One of those changes is with respect to the post-graduation work permit program and its eligibility. So I did want to begin just with a quick overview of those changes. And whether or not those changes affect you will depend on when you applied for your study permit. So if you submitted your visa or study permit application before the 1st of November, 2024, there is no change to your post-graduation work permit eligibility. You are grandfathered under the previous PGWP eligibility criteria. If you have or intend to apply for your study permit after the 31st of October, 2024, in order for you to maintain work permit eligibility, postgraduate work permit eligibility, your program must be aligned with a field of study that has been identified by Canada's federal government to be in long-term labor shortage. Now, the provincial government here in Ontario and provincial governments across Canada continue to work with the federal government to identify which of those programs will meet those fields of study in long-term labor shortage. So a final list has not been shared yet, but as it is shared, we will of course relay that information to our students. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to contact us. We will be providing our contact information throughout today's webinar. We also have a question and answer session later on next week, shortly after registration opens. That would give you an opportunity to ask your questions as well. And then one final point on this. Eventually, once you graduate, so this might be 2 years from now down the road, but when you do graduate, and you apply for your post-graduation work permit, all applicants must include an English proficiency test score along with their PGWP application. For college graduates, that score needs to be the equivalent of CLB level 5. If you're not familiar with CLB, the Canadian language benchmark, to put it in the context of IELTS, that is the equivalent of approximately a 5.0 in IELTS. So significantly lower than the IELTS scores of all of our applicants joining us at Lambton College. So I wouldn't call that a barrier by any stretch in terms of submitting your PGWP application, but it is a requirement and part of the process moving forward when you graduate and do submit that application in the future. So with that, I thank you for your time, and I will pass things over to Matt Rose.
All right. Thank you, everyone. My name is Matt Rose. I am the Student Life Coordinator here at our Sarnia campus. I'm here to discuss a little bit about program registration and some important dates that are coming up. So registration opens for both Sarnia and Ottawa study locations on November 11th. Okay. After you complete the registration process, you will gain access to your My Lambton student account. This will be emailed to the email address you use in the registration process. So make sure you use one that you specifically have access to, not your agent or your parents or whatever it is. Use an email address that you have access to. You'll receive two separate emails, the first containing your student ID number and the second containing your automated password. Okay. At that point in time, you'll be able to set up your Lambton College email. You can change a password to something that, might be familiar to you at that point in time. About 1 month prior to your start date, which is January 6th at both locations, you will receive your class schedule as long as you are paid in full. Okay. Again, and that's a rough estimate. We don't have a guarantee for a date for class schedules, but it's usually about a month to 3 weeks before your start date. Okay. After that, you can prepare for success in Canada and at Lambton College. It will be your responsibility as a student to complete what we call our International Student Academic Success modules. Okay. Those are going to help you prepare for life here in Canada and life as a student at Lambton College. Registration deadline is December 6th for visa approved students. Okay. Those that are awaiting a visa decision, that deadline will be extended. However, if you have already been approved for a visa, your deadline will be December 6th. You can see on the screen here a new student checklist for both locations. Both are fairly similar and both have most of the topics that we already discussed in the previous slide, as far as your orientation, your registration, your in-person orientation, which will be taking place on January 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and then the completion of your first day and first week of studies. Again, your first day of class, as I previously mentioned on the last slide, orientation will take place from January 2nd to 4th. It will be informational in terms of a lot of different presenters as far as student services go, opportunities for tabling with community vendors, and things that are important to our students' success during their time at Lambton College. Term start date is January 6th. That's going to be your first day of class. Students are all expected to join their classes in person from January 6th onward. Okay. And you are expected to be or at your study location for your orientation process. Okay. If you have any questions related to the orientation or registration process, you can email orientation@lambtoncollege.ca. And you can also connect to your student ambassador through your WhatsApp chat groups, which will be opening when registration does on Monday, November 11th. Your student ambassadors are there to assist you with all questions related to the registration and orientation process. You also will find both Hannah and myself, as well as Akash, our student life representative for the Ottawa campus. All right. With that being said, I will pass along the speaker opportunity to my good friend and colleague, Rob Tour.
Excellent. Thanks, Matt. And good day, everyone. As Matt mentioned, my name is Rob Tour, and I'm the Housing and Support Coordinator here at Lambton College in Sarnia. I'm happy to be able to join you on your journey to Canada and looking forward to seeing you all here at Lambton College very soon. Now, what documents do I need to enter Canada? So first, passport. Make sure you have a valid passport and remember to keep it in a safe place at all times. So to help make your arrival as smooth as possible, we ask that you make sure that you have printed out a copy of your LOA, so your letter of acceptance, your fee receipt, and a copy of your enrollment letter. It's also important to have a letter of introduction, so your IMM 5813 from IRCC, and a copy of your medical exam results. Another very important item to remember is to have the ability to show the proof of funds to support your stay while you're here in Canada. Now, before you leave the airport, there's some very important things that you got to make sure that you have completed. Make sure you receive your study permit. I can't stress this enough how important it is. Leaving the airport without your study permit will cause you a lot of grief later on, so please do not leave the airport without it. Check that all your documents are correct, your full name, date of birth, conditions, etc. This will be the best opportunity to correct any documents that may be incorrect. Ensure you have a condition to work on and off campus on your study permit. Please read over all paperwork and make sure that this condition is there before you leave the airport. And also remember, if you have any questions at all, don't be afraid to ask. There's a lot of great staff in the airport that's willing to help you along the way. All right, student health insurance. So your health coverage begins January 1st, 2025. All new international students arriving in Canada less than 30 days before their program start date have coverage in place. So you're not required to purchase early arrival coverage. Now, if you want to purchase coverage for your spouse and or dependents, you must register for early arrival coverage to purchase coverage for your spouse and or dependents. And finding accommodation. So please feel free to take a picture of this screen. It gives you the email addresses for the housing support at both Sarnia and Ottawa campus. Also, please refer to our website for more information on our housing page. And I want to thank you very much for your participation today. We are all looking forward to having you here with us in Canada and studying at Lambton College. Take care and safe travels. And back to you, Matt.
Excellent. Thank you, Rob. Just a few closing remarks before we conclude today's overview of the pre-departure registration and orientation process. So we do have more opportunities for you to learn and engage and connect with myself and the team here as well in the coming days and weeks. So if you are a Lambton Sarnia student and you have any questions whatsoever about the registration process, about orientation week, about traveling to Canada, any questions whatsoever, we will be hosting a question and answer session on the day after registration opens, so November 12th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're checking online, that is the Toronto time zone. We will also be hosting a housing session where we will provide information about how to find housing in Canada, what resources are available, and again, opening the floor for you to ask any questions that you would like. That will be on November 27th at the same time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Both of those will be hosted right here on our YouTube channel. If you are an Ottawa student, the same opportunities for you, just different dates and different information based on your specific study location. So again, a general question and answer session. If you have any questions whatsoever, be sure to join us on November 13th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have questions about housing, you'd like to know more, you'd like to explore resources, connect with Ottawa's Housing Support Coordinator, that will be on November 28th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, right here on our YouTube channel. And last but certainly not least, for all of our students, if you would like to learn more about your health insurance, there is an opportunity for you to learn directly from our third-party health insurance provider, GuardMe. They will be providing a presentation and also open to accepting questions from students. This will be hosted on November 19th. Again, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to keep things simple, always the same time, and always right here on our YouTube channel. If you are looking for more information about Lambton College, to stay up to date, to stay engaged, be sure to continue, of course, watching your email. You will receive email updates throughout the registration and pre-departure cycle. You can also follow us on social media. If you search Lambton International, just about everywhere, you will find us on Instagram, on LinkedIn, certainly here on YouTube as well. Lots of great content always being added across all of those platforms. So just as a final reminder, registration for our winter 2025 students opens in just a few days, Monday, November 11th. It's an absolute honor and privilege to be welcoming you here to Canada and to Lambton College. We are here to support you every step of the way. If you have any questions, be sure to reach out to our team. Be sure to connect in our upcoming events. And we really look forward to meeting you in person very shortly. So thank you again to all of today's presenters. Thank you to our newest students for joining us. All the best. Look forward to seeing you very soon. Bye for now.